I like to express my thoughts on Wing Chun. Somebody asked me what I think about Wing Chun. I think that Wing Chun is extremely great art. Um, it's one of the arts where it was created by a woman. So it's extremely effective, I'd say. Compared to a lot of the traditional martial arts out there, it's a lot more effective than what a lot of the traditional martial arts, and even like modern Western boxing, I believe it's very effective. It's backed by science. The principles in Wing Chun is backed by science, so it's irrefutable. And the thing about Wing Chun is that it's an entire art. It's not a sport. Okay, there's an entire philosophy behind it, a way of living. It truly upholds the values of what a martial arts is supposed to be. Um, it's not just a sport. Like it's not just like Thai boxing, not just like boxing or kickboxing. Where you're just going there to fight. I mean, there's a philosophy behind it. Um, there's a lot of it is about you know becoming a great martial artist. And the great thing about it is that it is effective. It's not like those really traditional animal form kung fu things, those forms where people criticize saying that it's ineffective, blah 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 blah. This is something that it's simple, effective, and it holds an entire art behind it. It's not a sport, so I think that it's a great if you could find anybody that teaches it, the authentic Wing Chun, then you are lucky. But the thing about it is that it's hard to find anybody in America or anywhere in the Western world that really practices like authentic Wing Chun. I mean, because it's scarce. I mean, it came from China, so then there's not that many people that really know the art behind it. There's like a lineage of the people that actually know what they're doing and how to teach it. And because it's created by a woman, she was the one who created it, and because she created it and now she's passed away, now the people that learn from her, and then the people so on and so forth that keeps going on to the lineage, you kind of had to go into that lineage in order to find the foundation of the art. But that's hard to find because it's not like commercialized like something like taekwondo or something like that, where you can just go anywhere and find it. This is something where you're not going to encounter that many people that practice it, and you're not going to see it too often on commercialized competitions and stuff like that, because it's a martial art and it upholds the value of art. It's not supposed to be competitive. It's not about like beating up people up for out of your ego and arrogance. It's just about this woman was training in this to survive, and that's what it is for. Is to survive. Is not to compete. And if you watch a movie called IP Man, it's about Bruce Lee's former instructor, the Ip Man. It's a great movie. It kind of shows you about the values of Wing Chun. It stars Donnie Yen, and I think that's a great movie. And we know of Wing Chun because of Bruce Lee. If it wasn't for Bruce Lee, we probably wouldn't even know about it. We probably just know about we wouldn't know about it, and we wouldn't even know about the effectiveness of it. Okay, Bruce Lee, obviously, from his demonstrations and his movies, and his development as a martial artist obviously proves that Wing Chun is effective. But he made something beyond Wing Chun, which is even more effective, because he created something that goes beyond. I'm going to touch on that later. But what I'm saying is that he proved that Wing Chun is extremely effective. And if it wasn't for him, many of us probably wouldn't even know much about it. And we wouldn't know the effectiveness behind it, because it took him to kind of express the effectiveness in order to show other people, hey, this is something that could really work. And like I said, I think it's hard to find people that really practice it. And the thing about it is, it's harder to learn. I'd say, than say just Western boxing. I think Western boxing is a lot easier to learn than an art like Wing Chun. It takes a lot of precision and perfection, constant practicing over and over and over again. And I'm not saying that boxing is, you know, very easy to learn, but I'm just saying that Wing Chun, in my opinion, it'd be a lot harder to learn it. Because there's theories behind it and stuff like that. I think boxing is one of the easiest. Um, Western boxing is one of the easiest things to teach, I'd say. But as far as Wing Chun is concerned, even though it is effective, like boxing is effective, for example, you got to go beyond it. If you don't go beyond it, if you don't go beyond Wing Chun and that's all you do, then you're not going to be a great fighter. You're not going to be the greatest martial artist you can be, because there's a lot of limitations in Wing Chun. Even though it's very effective at what it does, what it specializes in, there's a lot of limitations. And even Bruce Lee discovered that on his own when he was fighting and sparring, and even when you watch the Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, when he was fighting that one person to gain the right to teach Caucasians and non-Chinese people, and he fought that person to gain that right. He realized the limitations of Wing Chun, and then he started to basically lay the foundation of Jeet, which goes beyond Wing Chun into something where it's all comprehensive and learning from different arts and different, just everything, and that's what you should get at. Wing Chun is a great art to be, the foundation of where you start. Most people start off in some type of traditional martial art, no matter if it's Wing Chun or Chole Fut or Hung Gar or Wushu or just any other traditional martial art. Mostly somebody starts off with that. And then once you start off with your traditional martial art and you basically get the framework and the foundation of what the principles of fighting and learning the concepts and being able to get good at that art, decently good, then you can start creating something that goes beyond it and start learning from other types of arts and other sports in order to take your martial art to a higher level. But I think Wing Chun is great for that, but like I said, it's hard to find, and like I said, you should not be limited based on that, because you will not be that great, because there is a lot of limitations. It's effective, but it's not. To tell you the truth, there's no art that can be, the most effective for everyone. It just does not exist. Every human being expresses himself differently, and what you have to do is kind of find yourself and find out what works for you and express that, and then you basically create, the most effective way for you. And Wing Chun definitely is something where the science behind it cannot be refuted, and it's extremely effective, but it's just something that it's not that easy to find. Also, what I like about it is that it was created by a woman, so if essentially it's yin. Western boxing, Thai boxing, for example, is all yang. Yang is more just hard, just like Yang is Western society, all about competition. Yang is just like just the straight strength, pure power. Just like the Thai kick. Like a hook, like an uppercut. That's all Yang. Yin is more like using the opponent's energy against him. Yin is more like Wing Chun. Yin is more like Aikido. Yin is more like maybe Tai Chi. Where you will learn to utilize the opponent's energy and use it against them. So rather than like blocking someone hard, like Yang is like karate, where they just block someone like really hard, try to break their bones when they try to block them. Wing Chun wouldn't really do that. Did more allow the person to direct the energy, direct the person's energy away from so then you're not in danger, and basically ending the confrontation as quick as possible, and utilizing relaxation, a lot of speed, to gain an advantage. is not just about pure strength. Okay, so that's what I like about Wing Chun.